In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Metric Halo's 2D plus DSP and version 5 technologies, along with Apple's Mainstage and Logic Pro, so that I can play, monitor, and record my guitar. To begin with, I've got my guitar plugged in on this highlighted channel that I've got some of our character on, and I'm setting to a little reverb that's being done with our Halo Verb plugin, and here's what that sounds like. Pretty dry, pretty simple. So I'm going to mute this. On this channel, I have a duplicate of my guitar input. So it's the same guitar, same input, just another channel strip with completely different settings. And it sounds like this. That gives us a little bit more to play with. On my dry channel, I'm also sending on this post insert direct out on Firewire channel 1, which I have going to Apple's Mainstage software. That's doing this small funky amp tone, and the output of that is coming into this channel in the mixer. So by unmuting that, I can let you hear what that is. If I want, I can even play the 2D and Mainstage simultaneously. Since I'm sending to Mainstage on this post insert direct out, I can use any of my inserts and that will affect Mainstage, but not my 2D tone. So I'm going to put on a delay, and that effect can be anything from a dramatic delay to a very short delay, which is what I'm going to do, 10 milliseconds, that will thicken up the sound. We'll hear the 2D guitar, and then 10 milliseconds later we'll hear the Mainstage guitar. And while this is all fun to play, what I really want to do is record. What I'm doing is I'm sending my 2D guitar and my Mainstage guitar over Firewire 2, 3, and 4 into Logic. And I've got that set up so that I have a rhythm track for the 2D and the Mainstage tone, and then I'm going to go back and overdub some leads. To start with, let me put these two tracks into record and put down a rhythm. Now that I've got a rhythm put down, I can take these out of Record Enable, and if I go back to the top, I can play them and I can change the relative balance between the two of them as I want. And as you can hear, I've got the output of Logic also being sent to the reverb. So even though I've tracked the guitars dry, Logic is going through the reverb, so I'm hearing the playback the same way that I would hear during my own playing, but I haven't committed this reverb into the recording. And now if I go back to Logic, I can Record Enable my lead channels, and what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to take that dry lead tone and record that, so that later on I can go back and use a different amp simulator or do any kind of tonal effects that I want after the fact. And to help differentiate the tone a little bit, I'm going to use an Outboard distortion pedal which I can just insert in between the guitar and the interface just as if it was an app. So let me put down a little lead. And again, let me take these out of Record Enable, and now I can go back and mix the lead tone in with the rhythm as much as I want. I'll start off with the dry lead in, and then I'll take that out so you can hear that. We have a lot of flexibility in signal routing and playback within the 2D architecture, as well as the ability to actually create tones, which is something pretty unique to our interfaces. To run through what I'm doing, I've got a dry guitar tone, which is being sent over FireWire 1 into the Mainstage application. I also have a wet guitar tone, which is being derived just using 2D and plus DSP. I can listen to 2D and Mainstage together. I'm also sending the 2D tone on FireWire 2 and the Mainstage tone on FireWire 3 and 4 into Logic, where I can record them. And then I'm taking the output from my Logic channels on out 3 and 4 and bringing them into my 2D mixer on this channel so that I can hear my playback in near zero latency monitoring with my live playing. And all of this is being run through a reverb bus that I'm currently just putting into my headphones. But if I wanted to, I could take this reverb and I could route that over FireWire. Right now that's on FireWire 11 and 12. If I wanted to, I could even record my reverb channel. So you have the ability to track wet, track dry, record pre or post insert with any effects that you have going on here. And the really cool thing about this is it's one of the few ways that you can actually take the output of Apple's Mainstage software and run that directly into Logic as if it was just an instrument. So I hope this gives you some ideas of how you can not only use version 5 with your guitar recordings, but also with a keyboard, bass, vocalist. You can do this with Logic. You could do the same thing with Digital Performer, Nuendo, Live. The power of version 5 and 2D is that it allows you to route audio and manipulate audio however you want, not only within the hardware, but between your software applications.